Yes, guys, welcome to the very first episode in the AFK Lobby, brought to you on this channel and maybe in a few other places coming soon. Big Mike here, known as Big Mike Plays on Twitch, and today I have three other members part of this little group that we've got going. We're going to give you a nice little podcast today where we're going to be talking about some of the latest gaming news, a few other bits on the agenda, but first it'll be kind of nice for you to know who we're talking to today. So as I said, firstly, I am Big Mike from Big Mike Plays on Twitch and YouTube. You can follow me at those handles. I would like to introduce to you the first member of this little group that we've got here that I can see on my Discord chat. This is Calm Savage. Calm Savage, let us know who you are, please.
Yeah, it's me, Calm Savage, at all social media, I touch all games. I play all kind of games at least once. I'm happy to be here. Playing games all my life. And, I'm just here for the memes and the vibes.
He's here for the memes and the vibes. This is Calm Savage, aka the calmest Savage. And next in here, he is chilling. He is chilling, and that's what we do at AFK Lobby. That's what it is. Next here we have That's True. That's True. Please let us know who you are.
Yep. Happy to be joining. So I mostly play Tekken at the moment. You can catch some of my content at my YouTube. Link should be there. But yeah, I'll touch most games. Been gaming all my life. I like to mix it up every now and again, but just trying to establish my Tekken YouTube before I branch out a little bit.
Awesome stuff. That's True, mainly on Tekken, but also playing other games here and there, open to suggestions, open to new horizons. And we have last, but definitely not least, the person who keeps us all in check with some humility, some kindness, and some support. We got Violet. Violet, you're not violent, but you are Violet. Let us know who you are, please.
That was an excellent introduction. Thank you. I am Violet on pretty much all social media and Twitch. I like to stream a massive variety of games. At the moment, I am playing Hello Kitty Island Adventure and Monster Hunter Wilds. I just stream randomly whenever I get a chance. It's my downtime outside of work. That's me.
Fantastic. Awesome. So this is the AFK Lobby. We have 4 people in here today, and we've got quite a few topics that we're going to go through. I think the first one we're going to take a look at is some kind of, well, it depends on your kind of position on this, but it's exciting news if you are a Nintendo fan. The Nintendo Switch 2 seems to be, has been announced, but not on the sort of level of when it's actually coming out. I think we've got a few more weeks or months to really get a proper confirmed date on things. But guys, I want to just ask you, what are your thoughts on the Nintendo Switch 2? What are your thoughts on the Nintendo Switch in general? And what do you kind of know about the game console, and how do you play it? Like, what sort of games would you like to see on that?
Me personally, I don't understand why there was need for a Switch 2. We already have the Switch 1, and that has every game on it. There's like OLED Switches, there's all kinds of different versions of the Switch 1. So Switch 2 seems kind of pointless, but I guess the library will be fine, so we hope it comes with better games.
Yeah,
I didn't even know they had
look on
Switches.
Yeah, no, there's different types of Switches. There's, yeah, like the calmest Savage did say, there are a few different variations of the Nintendo Switch. The Switch 2 is supposed to have a couple like significant feature changes. So it's got a larger display. It's about an 8-inch LCD screen. It's got kind of redesigned joystick or Joy-Con controllers, so it's got a slightly different kind of look to how it would be or how the original Switch was. And it's also backwards compatible, so the Switch is going to support both physical and digital copies of the original Nintendo Switch games, which makes you think that there's going to be an enhanced level of performance for some of the newer games, which are going to only be available on the Switch 2. So, I mean, I don't know. What do you think there was any need on that? Hardware updates?
If it's got hardware updates, then that makes more sense, I guess. So
yeah.
Stronger handheld device.
Got you. I mean, the thing, I've always kind of gone back and forth on whether I wanted to buy a Switch or not. I think the main thing that's put me off it really was like the price of it. I thought to myself, look, it's a handheld console, it seems kind of cool, but I think I'll get bored after about a week. I've got my Xbox, I've got a PC, or a Mac I should say, because I can play my games through Steam on Mac, and that's fine. But yeah, I don't think there's anything really where I'm just like, oh yeah, I need to get this console. Violet, don't you have a Switch? Do you want to chime in on this?
I do have a Switch. I only literally have a Switch because pre-lockdown 2020, I wanted Animal Crossing and I pre-ordered it and I got it with the Switch. I spent the whole summer playing it, got 600 plus hours on it, and I haven't really played any other game on my Switch that much since then. I'm not really excited for the Switch 2. Again, like Calm said, I don't see the need for it. There was an OLED and now it's just the screen's a bit bigger. It's kind of like when phones get bigger and thinner.
Yeah,
we're kind of slowly branching back into is it the Wii U that was like the big
yeah
handheld. That's when I stopped buying them pretty much.
Back in my day, I had a Game Boy Advance SP.
Word. Then you get the Game Boy Colors. What do you know about Game Color?
There was that silver Game Boy that had the dragon, the Game Boy Advance. I had the dragon on the back of it. I had that one. That was mine. I think it was a hand-me-down. I can't even remember getting it.
I respect that. I love the sort of the time machine we just took to recount our youth, and it's probably going to date us on this podcast. Yeah, there's going to be some people who are watching this podcast who definitely didn't even know what was going on with that sort of stuff. They're just thinking
they're in that year.
Yeah, they're saying Game Boy Advance what? Like, and why is it called what? Nah, man.
What is a Game Boy?
I mean, what is a Game Boy? You tell me.
That would cause problems nowadays, I think, with that name.
They would have to release a Game Boy and a Game Girl.
No, we just gotta have a game neutral.
Absolutely.
We'll just get a game neutral in this. Game neutral for everyone. In fact, it'll just be called Game.
When people say Switch, the only thing that comes to mind, there's only a few games. So Super Smash, Zelda, Mario Kart,
Pokemon.
Oh yeah, Pokemon as well. But that's it.
I would agree with you. Yeah.
I forgot about Pokemon. Yeah, that's a point. Because I had Arceus and I had Pokemon Violet. I completely forgot.
So
That's how irrelevant the console is in my head apparently.
So I bought my girl a couple games on her Switch, and I bought her Zelda, and I can't remember which Pokemon it was actually. But yeah, those games, that makes sense to me. I think one of my flatmates also loves his Switch for the Zelda game, the most recent one. I think, was it Tears of the Kingdom or something like that? But I don't really pay attention to like Nintendo Switch stuff. I just don't feel. Maybe this is just gaming arrogance, and this is just kind of what people who play consoles think about. But I don't consider the Switch as a console to be something that I'm like, oh, like there's new news on that. But it'd be interesting to kind of know what the wider gaming community thinks about that. If there's anything that they're kind of excited about, or if they think there's going to be an enhancement of graphics to the point where it's going to compete with the Xbox Series X and the PS5, especially when you dock it. I think that might be kind of cool, and that might be the reason why they're bringing out another, like the Nintendo Switch 2, rather than just saying, oh, here's another Nintendo Switch. They need something that completely differentiates it.
Yeah.
I will say the decision that they've made to make it look different, I don't really agree with. Like you mentioned, they changed the Joy-Cons. I'm looking at an image now, and I remember I saw an article months ago. The part that slides in to the dock and the actual Switch, they've made it really thin, and a bunch of engineers piped in that those are gonna just snap. Like they already break. I can't imagine how future-proof these things are. They're probably going to be a massive break risk, especially to their market, like the kids.
Yeah, kids.
No way.
Kids are going to be playing this mostly.
And they've taken the color away. It's just completely one color.
Well, that's just not fun.
Plain.
It's all black.
Where's the funsies?
Yeah.
It's like when McDonald's stripped all their color from their restaurants and made it all grey. It used to be red and yellow. Now it's just sad.
Wait,
We're
what?
seeing that in every logo. We're seeing it in architecture.
Everything more streamlined.
Yikes.
Look,
That was a wild
minimalist.
reference, sorry.
Minimalist is not always the way forward, especially in gaming. I think there is a place for minimalism, but I think gaming has thrived on some really cool aesthetics and colors. So yeah, I don't really feel like that's the best way for them to go. But hey, Nintendo know what they're doing. They've been doing this for many years. We don't have to buy the Switch ourselves. We may be able to do a little review on it if anyone gets one or plays one at some point or sees any stuff about it in the future. But I think April is when Nintendo have one of their big events. It's Nintendo Direct. So April the 2nd, I think we'll probably get a bit more information on it. Maybe we can cover that a little bit in a future episode. If you guys are liking what we're doing at the moment and would like to hear about what we think about the Nintendo Switch number 2 going forward, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, drop a comment, let us know, because we will definitely cover it in the future. It'll be nice to kind of do a callback to this episode, the very first episode of the AFK Lobby. I think Is there anything else that anyone else wants to say at that, or everyone think that we're all good with that? Because I think we've got quite a few things that we can get through at the moment.
I just want to reverse back to the Joy-Cons because I've just looked into it again and I've just found out. Do you remember when the Switch came out, the way they advertised it was that like click noise
Yep.
of the Joy-Con sliding in? These look like they just click. You just push it in from the side.
Okay.
They've taken away the whole
that fun thing.
That
was a USB.
Yeah, like I remember when the Switch came out, like I was thinking about that Switch in my head because I was thinking about that click noise.
You see,
it just popped up in my head.
It was that marketing. Is that marketing, and also you've remembered it, which was obviously their aim. But now they've taken that away.
Now they've gone back on it completely. It's kind of sad.
But you know what? The thing is, that's probably the differentiation that they want between the two consoles. They don't really want to replicate the first console. They probably want it to be totally different, so that there's a reason for people to buy it. I mean, Lord knows, we'll see what the design kind of looks like going forward. But I want to just kind of slowly transition us to a new segment, or the next segment. That's speaking about new things within the gaming world. We're looking at a new game that's coming out actually on Friday this week. Assassin's Creed Shadows, the new Assassin's Creed that's been quite controversial recently. I think what I've been seeing from people within the gaming space and people who have been like doing reviews on some of the early access videos that I saw, people haven't been really happy with it. There's been a lot of sort of points made about cultural and historical inaccuracies, especially about ancient Japan, the difficulty of accepting an African or a character with African heritage being in Japan, serving in that era. People have also found that there's been misrepresentation of different like samurai culture and sort of different elements to just the natural scenery of the game. And we know that the game itself had to be delayed because they didn't feel like they were doing it justice due to some of the public uproar back when it was supposed to be released. I believe it was like last November, was it? I think last November was the original release date. Jay, you're quite a well-learned Assassin's Creed game player. You've played every single Assassin's Creed pretty much. What have your thoughts been so far on what you've seen about Assassin's Creed Shadows and just comparing it to some of the other games?
Yeah, like you said, I've played every single AC title except the latest one. And it's definitely grown as a franchise. It's taken a few different directions. So obviously after the classic, the first one with Altair and then the Ezio collection, they expanded their sort of footprint a bit into different time periods. It's never been a game that is historically accurate, right? Because it's a work of fiction at the end of the day. But obviously it is set in time periods with a lot of influences from certain events in those time periods. For example, you had the Assassin's Creed Unity and the French Revolution. So I do kind of understand why people might have been a bit upset about certain misrepresentations, especially if, you know, this is set in 16th century Japan, and if there are people who are Japanese, they might have wanted certain things to look a bit more accurate just for the sake of you know, hey, they're representing our culture, so get it right. But you have to still remember it's a work of fiction, so I'm personally excited for it to come out and see what they've done with it.
Yeah, I think you make a good point about how it is a work of fiction, but it does still need to have some sort of historical accuracy, especially if it is based on it's a time period, it's a period piece, right? So we do need some level of accuracy. We can't just throw caution to the wind and just go with whatever we want. But at the same time, it's a game. It's supposed to be something that's fun. It's not supposed to be something that's necessarily educational. Yes, we do get an element of education with all these Assassin's Creed games, but I think the way that some people may be fixated on that caused so much more concern for Ubisoft and has led to the delay of the game, which maybe we'll get a better game for it, and maybe that's something that's actually good for the community. But it's also something that just saw a lot of outrage and uproar from people who may not have always been from that culture. It was just people who were kind of latching on to the bandwagon of criticism. Violet, Calm, what are your thoughts? Do you have anything to say with regards to the new Assassin's Creed?
I'm excited to play it. You know, I always try all the Assassin's Creed games. And if I play it and I don't like it, then I doubt many other people will not like it as well, because
I'm just going to pipe in here. I've not played any of the games before. I do enjoy watching them. So if any of you guys stream it, I'll be here to watch this in.
Absolutely,
That'll be
absolutely.
a fun one to put on stream.
So if
to
it
be
is
fair.
good, I'll be there. I also love
Yeah.
anything related to Japan. So
Don't we all?
If there's anything like
don't we all?
yeah. I remember Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Playing through that was one of the best gaming experiences I've ever had. Obviously, it's not the classical Assassin's Creed recipe, but they went more towards like an RPG style of game. So just purely from a gameplay perspective, I mean, the world was beautiful. It had so many, like, I couldn't wait to sail to the next Greek island and find like what quests there were waiting for me. So yeah, we're gonna probably see something quite similar with Assassin's Creed Shadows. It's probably gonna be a game full of life.
Yeah, absolutely. I think what I've seen as well, some of the mechanics of the game and like the physics of it have looked really cool. I think the parkour looks awesome so far. It seems quite innovative, and I really like the dual like main characters, the two protagonists that we can have, and you get the choice to play between the two. That's something that's pretty cool. I mean, we got a female character, we've got a African or character of African descent, and it's just going to give a whole different perspective to the game, especially in that time period. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to what the game's going to show us, and some of the visuals and the storyline. I'm hopeful is going to be really exciting and amazing. Calm Savage, let's hear from you again. Let's go.
Personally, am I allowed to say as a black gamer?
Yeah, absolutely. You are a black gamer. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
As a black gamer, I'm excited to play as like Yusuke
Mm.
because it brings a whole different element to the game. It's not like more assassin; it's more like a baller based,
Yeah.
which will be a fun mechanic to play around with.
Mm.
But I see all the outrage online, and this makes me, can I say happy? Happy that people are molding about it, because they clearly have nothing in their life going on where they should be
Worst
this
thing
upset
is
about it.
Nothing better to do.
No, I
Yeah,
hear that.
but the worst thing is the game is set in 16th century Japan, right? There was the Silk Road existed up well before that, which was like a trading route basically
Mhm.
connecting the east to the west, and it went all the way into like Eastern Africa, the Silk Road. So, I mean, obviously a lot of people traded and traveled along that route, but some of the outrage was that there was never a black, what was it? A
Samurai?
black samurai.
Black
Yes.
Samurai, yeah.
I've seen all that.
Was it just the fact that he's a black samurai, or was the fact that there was a
think
black person in
It was
Japan?
Black Samurai, and it was by Yusuke himself. Like Yusuke was
Because
like
Yusuke is real.
Yusuke's
Yeah.
a real person.
Yeah.
But what they did to him in the game is kind of like twisted it slightly.
Mm.
But you got to
So
twist
the
things
thing-
for entertainment purposes though, right?
Yeah,
Like
just to make it more fun.
yeah, like a lot of the games that we play are based on fiction, like Jay said from the beginning. And like, yeah, that's true. Like, it's just generally going to be something that we're going to have to deal with. In terms of like, just the entertainment value is really important. That's what we want to see. So, yeah,
I mean, with one thing, sorry,
Yeah, go
before
for
you
it.
move on, is this, I don't know, people love to hate, and sometimes it's justified, like we're allowed to criticize things, but for example, the new Fable game is coming out, and people are saying, well, going by the trailer, you have to play as this character that they've introduced, which is a woman, and people are saying, well, I want to be able to pick. In Fable 2, I remember, because I played that one, you could pick the brother or the sister, so you could choose who you were going to be, but you couldn't customize your character. I haven't heard anything about that in terms of Assassin's Creed, but it's just a weird sort of thing to pick at, you know. I don't want to play as this African samurai, you know, it's not realistic, blah blah blah. But how many games have there been where you have to play as the protagonist that they've made, and you know there haven't been those kind of complaints? So it's just really weird. Just play the game to play the game, you know. It's gonna be a game and experience at the end of the day. So
Absolutely. I think the best way that I can summarize that point is we don't play games for realism. We play games to escape reality and enjoy stuff. If you really want realism, when you're playing Call of Duty and you get shot, you should turn your console off and stop playing because you're dead. You don't get a do-over. You do not respawn. So let's just all take a breath, enjoy some of the entertainment that we can get. If we don't like a game, we don't like a game, we don't play it. And we move on and enjoy our lives and play games that we do like. That's just, we literally have a choice. It is free will. But we also have the right to criticize and ask for improvements. So within reason, we should be balanced, but we should also allow ourselves to just have fun, man. Enjoy the game. And speaking of having fun, there's been a new game that's come out recently and it's taken the world by storm, doing Baldur's Gate 3 kind of numbers. We're talking about the new Monster Hunter Wilds game. Now, I myself have never played Monster Hunter before, and I've actually got a video of my first steps in the game playing. And I think I had to hunt the Chatacabra monster, which is like the first one, and it's pretty weak, but it was quite a fun experience. And I literally got into the game because a very good friend of mine recommended it to me because he was an OG Monster Hunter player. And damn, the game's fun. I've really enjoyed it. I've really liked how it's been easy to kind of pick up. I'm not the best at it. I'm not elite at it. There's probably some pro hunters from what I've seen on YouTube and guys who make content and have been making Monster Hunter content for a long time who are way more efficient and do so many more cool things than I do on the game. But I'm still able to have fun and enjoy it at this moment. And I'll get better at it the more I play. And I've got friends who are playing it. A couple of them in this chat right now. I think Monster Hunter Wilds has been awesome for a new person to play, and I think the experienced people seem quite happy with it as well, because those numbers are mind-boggling. They're awesome for them, and I'm really happy for the studio and all the people involved. Violet, you, similar to me, are a new Monster Hunter player. You picked up the game a few days ago, and I think you've, clocked 60 hours on it? In the last week?
Not that good.
God. Oh, God.
How long's it been? Like,
oh, God.
Like 2 weeks, I think?
Yeah, 2 weeks, Yeah.
Calm forced me to get it, pretty much. I didn't know what I was doing.
Nice.
He, kept bugging me, insisting. Eventually, we gave in. It was a gift.
I'll be honest.
Well, just for the record, there is no forcing of anything. Everything is done here with absolute and complete consent.
It was definitely an insist.
It insists.
And in the end,
advised.
I really appreciate it. Right. Obviously, he knew better than me because he's played all the games, and I've played absolutely none. I didn't even, to be honest, know what the game was until it was introduced to me recently. I have clocked, I think 60 hours ish. Done most of the main quest.
Come on.
It keeps going after a certain. It keeps going after a certain point. I don't know. I think I've completed something, and then I get told, actually, you haven't.
Once you want to rank 100, there's more to play.
Right. And I'm like 50, 60 something right now.
Out here, so you're out here completing
a game that keeps on giving.
You're out here completing things, and you're getting hit with that scary movie. But wait, there's more. Getting onto that. I love that. I love that.
It's definitely a great feeling because you feel like you've completed something, and then your friend tells you, actually, there is more, and don't relax yet. You need to keep the grind going. I don't really play games that have combos like this game, and like the choice of weapons is extensive. You get to dress up, you can slay. You can slay while you slay, and it's brilliant.
Damn, slay while you slay. I like the sound of that.
It's a great game, and I really thought that I wouldn't be able to stream it, but it works pretty well. I did the test last week on Friday. I streamed it a little bit, and it went okay. And then I streamed it again on the weekend because I can't put the game down.
Yes, nice.
It wasn't the game I was playing.
Issues were you having streaming it?
I basically just had to drop the graphics right down, and then it was fine.
Yeah, PC, the graphics are like ridiculously elite, so it doesn't translate well on Twitch.
My graphics are good, but yeah, it's like I need like a higher power source or whatever.
Yeah.
My PC specs are the recommended for the game, but I stream it in low quality just because Streamlabs and everything else, it's not very streamer friendly unless you just knock it right down to low. But that's just me. Obviously, PC is not the elite race. Apparently, it's a lot easier on Xbox. So yeah, I would try it on Xbox.
That's cool. I think that's I mean, I stream it on Xbox at Big Mike Plays on Twitch, and I think that I've had fun with it. I feel like we've had some really cool numbers in the stream. We've had really interactive chats. People have kind of seen what we're doing there, and it's just been fun, and it's been jokes. And yeah, throwing it up onto YouTube as well. I've seen some really cool comments on there, just giving advice for like new gamers as well. Guys are talking about going into the sort of the training arena and trying to really master your weapon, going to completely sort of get the right materials from the monsters that you hunt to craft the entire armor sets from different monsters, just so that you can get used to how the monster moves, their sort of move set, what their kind of motion is. And I was just like, damn, this is like really cool stuff. He even gave a breakdown. The person who made this comment gave a breakdown of the easiest weapons to pick up versus the hardest versus like weapons that are just really cool. And I was just like, wow, like this community, yeah. I mean, is that Big Mike Plays on YouTube in the comment section of the latest video? Go check that out.
I'll go right now.
I love to hear that. But it's one of those things where I was just like there's so many people who just seem to gatekeep games, and this isn't everyone, because of course it's not. The majority of people are lovely in the gaming community, but there's so many people who gatekeep games, and it's like, oh, you're a noob, you can't do this, oh, you're rubbish, you don't know this. It's like, bro, we're here to just have fun. We're here to game and just enjoy it. And this guy took some time out of his day in the early hours of the morning. I woke up today to go to work, and I saw that comment. It was like probably about 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. And dude just dropped out a little bit of a guide and said, do this, this is what you should do, this is what you should do, watch people do this. And I was just like, wow, that's pretty cool. So I love that Monster Hunter's bred that sort of community. And I think the game itself is so easy to pick up, depending, like, irrespective even of what your like desire is for the game. Do you want to be a pro hunter? Yeah, maybe cool, then you can play it a lot. Or are you just someone who just wanted to try a new game and found some solace in a new game that you've never actually played before in Monster Hunter? So yeah, I've liked the look of that. And I think what I'd like to hear next is either Jay, what are your thoughts? That is also true, by the way. That's True's name. What are your thoughts on Monster Hunter from what you've seen?
So I've seen you all playing it. I haven't played a Monster Hunter title before, so I wasn't really sure. But visually, it always looked good. Obviously, not knowing the mechanics made me feel like, I'm not sure if this is a game I'd like to play. But even seeing that person's comment on your YouTube made me feel like the game has got layers of complexity to it, where you can pick it up as a beginner, and then that you're going to be on a bit of a learning journey, and it actually improve at the game. And then hearing Via just mention you've sunk 60 plus hours into it and you've not completed it yet.
Nope.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So yeah, I'm thinking about it. I feel like I'll watch more of your streams on it first. But then yeah, if it's got replay value, then I might jump in and you guys can help me out.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the next person to really hear from on this, and thank you very much, That's True. You can find That's True on Tekken streams, generally on Twitch as well. But the person that is probably going to give us a lot of intel, we've saved it as the actual best input for last on this segment, is the calmest Savage. He is a storied Monster Hunter gamer, and seeing the new game get its dues, get its accolades, get its flowers for being so good and doing so well must be quite a fulfilling thing. So yeah, tell us a little bit more about the lore of Monster Hunter and what your thoughts on the new game compared to all the other ones that you've played.
Well, the new game, it's beautiful, like maybe 9 out of 10, I'd say.
God damn.
It's really user friendly. Like a new player can just jump in. It will teach you a couple mechanics to get started, and then as you progress through the game, it will teach you more of the more challenging stuff. As towards the older games, I'd say you definitely should try once you're more comfortable with how the new game is like played, and once you're more comfortable with the newer game, Monster Hunter Wilds, you should go back to Worlds, because there's so much content on that game, just between the monsters, the weapons, the armors. It's got so much you'd enjoy if you enjoy the current Monster Hunter Wilds.
Yeah, and I spoke to my friend who recommended it to me as well, and he actually said that we're very lucky with Monster Hunter Wilds. There's a lot of assistance for new players, and it seems like they've really kind of catered towards getting newer players to play the game, because he said that back in the day when he was playing Monster Hunter, there was no help for certain monsters. There's no help for
Just
certain
throw you into the
quests.
deep end.
They just say, yeah, go do something, go hunt. That's all it is.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, like now we're getting so much guidance and so many different points of like, oh, this is what you can do for this, and you can do this, and you can do that. So they definitely had the objective to get newer gamers on this, and I think they've succeeded, because I mean, I'm playing it, Vi, you're playing it. We've got the Karma Savage who's been playing it
100 hours in.
100 hours in, my god damn. And
Yeah.
and then you've got That's True, who's considering playing it. So I think when we're looking at a game like Monster Hunter Wilds, I think so far it's been a success. I haven't seen anything negative about it myself. Maybe that might come up in a few days. Maybe there might be a patch that happens for certain things online. Maybe there'll be a glitch here and there. But at the moment, the game seems pretty airtight. And I love the sound of that. Does anyone else have anything else they want to say with regards to Monster Hunter? Things that they've done that's been kind of cool, fun moments that they've had. I've had a ton of fun moments on Twitch. What about you guys?
I've really enjoyed teaching little Vi over here.
I'm little fine now. Oh my god. I genuinely
Funny,
haven't played more than an hour without him. He's been a godsend.
It's been great. You know, having
Just
a little
out of
apprentice run
curiosity.
around.
This is why Karma is called
An
Sensei, by
apprentice.
the way.
He is sensei. Just out of curiosity, the previous games, obviously when you fight in Wilds, the actions are on the top right corner. When you whip
Right.
a different weapon out, when you like morph your weapon, it tells you the combos and everything. Is that in all the other games too?
Nope.
So this is a
God
really
damn.
definitely
God
a
You just
new.
learn them as
I
you
just
go, yeah.
realized this. This is definitely a new user friendly game.
Yeah.
On the previous game,
I
I had to
don't
look up a lot of
think-
YouTube videos and like how to play the game.
I wouldn't be able to deal with that personally. That's
Bit
too much. That is too much. And like the guide, the monster guide, was that in the previous games
There
too?
is a monster manual, yeah.
And you can like, it tells you like what element to use to
Research.
fight them and stuff,
Yeah,
that sort of
everything's
thing.
weakness.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, no, that's cool, and there's a lot of content ideas that you can get from that as well, which helps out a number of us. We all of us here stream. That's why we've started this. It's just talking about the gaming community, talking about the landscape of the gaming like world, and just as a streamer or as streamers or as people who have played games all their lives, have an opinion and just kind of share it with the world and see what other people say. So I love that we have the different perspectives and like super different ends of the spectrum, be it sort of elite, like long-term playing Monster Hunter players, to two newbies, to a guy who's not even got the game but is considering it. So yeah, I think that's pretty cool, and it's quite positive that that's the way that we're seeing Monster Hunter at the moment, all of us in kind of agreement of it. Unfortunately, we've got to go over to the other side of the gaming community and kind of have a little bit of a moan about something, really. I think that's true. Is it true that you have something to tell us?
Yeah, it's more. Well, it's kind of a broader discussion on kind of the state of gaming at the moment, where over the past few years, we're seeing more and more games getting released in bugged states, but getting dropped and being called like AAA into even quadruple A titles. And we're being forced to pay upwards of £60, sometimes up to £100 for these games, which is wild, really. But touching on what you just said about, you know, our perception of games is different, right?
Yeah.
Based on what kind of games we grew up playing. So, I mean, I've played almost every console that's existed since the Sega Mega Drive was my first ever console.
God
damn.
damn.
I don't
Yeah,
even know what that is.
God damn.
yeah,
You gotta get the
So I've been
Dreamcast in as
around.
well.
yeah. I've played most. So for me personally, and this is what my issue is when it comes to games, is I've played so many games and so many different types of games that my experience when I play a lot of games often feels the same. Like it's the same mechanics with a different skin, you know? And it almost takes an unrealistic amount to actually get me to want to play games. So I'm almost relying on playing games with my friends in order to keep me engaged, or I need to find a game where it's gonna be
feel that.
a learning journey. So
Real talk.
I
Yeah.
don't know what you all think, but
Let's open this up to the Savage. Let's hear from you, another experienced gamer.
I've been playing games forever. Old man over here. I love games. Lately, I've been playing Marvel Rivals, which is like a hero shooter, 66. And I'm really trying to realize the gaming community is just, they just suck. They're all terrible people. Gamers, they don't know what they want.
God
When
damn.
they do get what they want, they're not happy with what they want. So you can't really please them. You just have to.
people are fickle.
Well, yeah. I mean,
But then
their
also,
God.
because everything is online now, you've got such easy access to talk to so many other people with like the click of a button. So,
No one has their own opinion.
yeah.
well, it's the
And you never know
TikTok
who's
mentality, right?
trolling.
Yeah, there's that too. Like, it's a TikTok mentality, right? Of everything can be condensed into a 30-second video. Everyone can be spoken to for about 2 or 3 minutes, and then you kind of move on to the next person. I think no one really wants to play games for the story of playing a game. They want the gratification instantly as well. The instant gratification of doing something in game. And if they can't do it in game, they can't work towards it, then it's just like, all right, well, I don't want to do this anymore. It's gone. And that's what we see with so many people playing games nowadays, where everything's just condensed into little sound bites or little clips of, oh, this is something cool I did. It's like, oh, okay, I want to do that. They go try to replicate it. They can't do it. They don't like the game anymore. The game's apparently bugged. The game's apparently hacked. The game's apparently cracked. All those different words and adjectives that they use. And the developers are now also making their development time shorter because they want to satisfy the attention span of the public. So they're not even really working on the game properly to ensure that there aren't any bugs on release. Or obviously you can't necessarily make anything 100%, but most of these companies are just pushing games out quickly because they know that, oh, if we don't push this game out, people are going to not care about it anymore, and therefore we're not going to do as well in sales. Whereas someone like, Ubisoft actually, they did the right thing with like, oh, well, we don't want to release the game because we don't think it's up to the standards that we want. This happened as well with Football Manager. I don't know if you guys heard about that a while ago, but Football Manager was supposed to come out last October, and then they delayed it until January, and we didn't get a second trailer about the game. And all the people in the Football Manager community are like, well, what's going on? Then in February it gets announced, because it was supposed to actually come out in February. In February it got announced as they're just skipping this iteration of Football Manager because they just haven't been able to do right by the game. They said that its development wasn't good enough, and they're just gonna skip Football Manager 25 and go to 26. And a lot of us were annoyed by that, but
All right.
fair play to them, because 26 better be goddamn good.
There's an element of recency bias though, because you have to consider, so older games, and I'm talking back in like the early 2000s, late 90s, you never know about games unless you go back and play them. I wonder how many bugs and stuff you might find in old games.
Yeah.
These days, where everything has been done, so now everybody knows, speedrunning is now a thing, and often in speedruns, people will use exploits, they'll use out of bounds glitches and stuff like that. So people actually look for this kind of stuff in a game in order to exploit it for a speedrun or something. So because all of this is now knowledge in the gaming space, people are going to see it more, pay more attention to it. So yeah, there is that just element of recency bias.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's so many different factors to the gaming industry right now that we could really pull on with regards to what makes a good game, what doesn't make a good game. I think, considering that's true, you've really put this forward as a topic of conversation. What do you look for in a game for it to be a good game for you?
It's hard to summarize, because like Calm said, we don't really know what we want in a game anymore because almost everything has been done. So yeah, and as somebody who will
£60, I don't feel like there should be bugs in that game. Not a single one.
Yeah, that's a good point.
GTA coming out being £100, rumored to be £100.
It's
I feel
100
like that's
pounds.
on.
It's apparently
God
going to be.
damn.
It's going to apparently be £100. Yeah.
I hope that's just a rumor.
For why?
And how long have we waited for it as well?
Yeah.
Listen, I'll tell you
It has
this.
been a
I'll tell you this
long
right
while.
now. The last time when I bought GTA, as in on Xbox Series X, not on the old Xbox, on Xbox One. When I bought GTA on Series X, we were in sixth form or first year uni, one of those times. And I'm a very grown man right now, so it's been a long old time. Yeah, sorry,
Long time.
sorry, I did interrupt a little bit
But then
there. Go on.
No, I mean it speaks to how well GTA 5 has like it was produced in a way which allows it to hold up for a certain amount of time.
Yep, that's true.
Another example is not everyone will agree with this, but Skyrim, and the reason I say this, the game on its own, okay, as your very first playthrough, brilliant game, but then you quickly realize it's missing a lot. It had its bugs and stuff as well, but then the modding community really saved it, and you know, it still holds up now as long as you download a decent mod pack. But yeah, really, you know, we have high expectations as gamers now in this day and age, and a lot of titles have delivered on those expectations and pushed the bar even higher. So when we get games that are bugged on release, that cost way too much, where the dialogue feels bland and the world feels lifeless, you know, we're just not invested anymore because we've seen better, even in older games. So it's really hard to keep up with our expectations now.
Absolutely. Violet, lead the way. Give us a little bit of insight on what you're looking for in games, what you think of the current gaming state.
To be quite fair, I really just go by kind of looks and marketing. I have to be that person. They truly affect me.
That's
If I
absolutely
can't,
fun.
you know, if I don't know about the game, I don't know about it. I'm definitely more mainstream. Whatever's popular, I play, and you know, there's certain things I don't play. Like obviously, I haven't played Assassin's Creed, but I don't really think I have a style that I look for in games. To be quite frank, I mean, I've played Minecraft, Sims 4, Marvel Rivals, League of Legends. Unfortunately, you know, it's. I don't think I have a type.
I ain't
And
got
I don't know
no
if that's a
type.
good thing or a bad thing.
No, I like the sound of that. That sounds like somebody who really just plays games for the love of what they're looking for and what they, in terms of like aesthetically, and just wants to feel good from playing games, and that's
Yeah,
fine.
like I'll pick up a game and I'll try it. Obviously, I've played games that I've had kind of reactions to, and there's you know, that goosebump feeling that you get. I've definitely gotten that from Wilds, from Monster Hunter Wilds, playing, fighting certain bosses. It definitely puts the fear in you. I do love that feeling. Things like Phasmophobia, you can it causes an actual reaction. I think we're so used to kind of like Jay was saying, you know, we watch, or was it you? Someone said if we're watching videos and we watch it for 2 minutes, then we swipe along, we go along. We've kind of desensitized ourselves.
Yeah.
So if I can find a game that gets a genuine bodily reaction out of me and has that wow factor in it, then I will love that game for life.
Awesome. No, that's really really cool. I like how you've kind of put that. It's giving you goosebumps, and it's giving you that actual physical reaction to playing, because that's what we had when we were kids. Like, we played games as kids and we kind of got lost in the world of that game. Whereas now, I remember I was talking to a friend of mine who himself doesn't play games anymore really. Like, he played a few games on the Switch here and there, but we're talking about like Assassin's Creed, and we're talking about Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and he's just like, yeah, like Assassin's Creed's cool, but I'll play like Valhalla for like 30 minutes and it'll just be like, why am I pretending to be a Viking? And it's just like, he doesn't feel that immersion in games anymore. I was just like, oh no, but the game's really good. He's just like, yeah, and nothing's captured his sort of, nothing's captured his interest like that when it comes to console gaming. So yeah, I think that's a really good point that you're making there, and I think what I'd really like to do is hear a little bit from the Calmist Savage. What are your thoughts on this? Because we've got something from That's True talking about how the gaming community doesn't really know what we want, and there's quite a few things in that sort of area where people complain about different things, but then also games themselves are not necessarily coming fully bulletproof. And then we've got what Vi said, which is that there are games that just look awesome and you just want to play them and you get that feeling of like, oh, that's cool. And like Monster Hunter has grabbed her attention right now. What are your thoughts there, man like Calm?
I feel like I play games mainly for like the social aspect of it. So like if my friends will tell me they're playing this game, I'll happily like get on and join them on that game and see what it's about. I just kind of like playing games, single player games is really not for me. Much prefer to play more.
It's about the
games.
Community.
Yeah, definitely.
It is about the community. Indeed, it is. Yeah.
So if a game has a good following, I'm always down to play it.
What's been a game
Well,
that
yeah.
you've seen that you've been like, oh, I didn't think about playing that game myself, but then my friends told me about it, and I was like, yeah, okay, let me get onto it.
This guy been telling me to play games for the past maybe 5 years, so I just kind of go with his suggestions. We meant to be playing Baldur's Gate sometime.
Baldur's Gate.
So,
Definitely.
I just play co-op games and multiplayer games.
I did get that recommended to me by That's True earlier today as well, might I add. Said it'll be a good game for us all to jump onto. Maybe one day, we'll see. What I actually remembered a time where that actually happened with you, the Calm, Mr. Savage, when NBA, the first time we played NBA 2K.
Yeah.
I think it was 2K20. I think it was 2K20, the lockdown 20 or 21, one of the lockdown 2Ks. And that was, I think I was playing it. And then you and another friend of ours were playing, I think it was on Game Pass. So you guys just said, oh, why not? Let's just get it. And then we just started running Param like all summer, all lockdown. And that game was just fun. We had all the customization we wanted. Yes, it had exploits in the game. Yes, it had glitchy animations, but we just found it to be so refreshing.
Makes it much fun.
Exactly. Yes, we got livid together. Of course we did. But then we also were shouting out random things like Green Releaser or Gentle Dunker. It was about the memories. Oh gosh, ain't that beautiful?
Truly.
Guys, come on, give me some more. What else do you want to say? Or is that everything that you guys have to say when it comes to the state of gaming? Because I think you covered quite a few really cool points there and some good food for thought for anyone who's listening to this.
I think we've had a good range of opinions going on,
Yeah.
to be honest.
Yeah,
It's nice to hear
already.
everyone's thoughts.
Absolutely.
Can't really think of anything else that I wanted to add to that.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's so many things that we can explore in the next episode and on different days. I think this was a very cool sort of first episode where we've had a range of different things that we've discussed. Some very topical gaming news, some great things of just thoughts on our minds and that we've discussed with each other. And I think one theme that we can all kind of agree on is that we play games for the community. We play games for fun, and we play games for the memories that we make in our spare time when that work day was long, that school day was long, that weekend where you had to go see family that you didn't really want to go see because you don't see them that often was long. But then you came back home and your boys and your friends and your girls and whoever else, your chat on stream were like, oh yeah, it's sick that we're playing Monster Hunter right now, or oh, it's really cool that you were playing Assassin's Creed. I want to see how you handled this challenge or whatever. Those memories are cool. Or playing co-op games, like even with Assassin's Creed, you could do co-op, or even with a game like EA Sports FC, which gets admittedly a very bad reputation, and I'll get onto that another day. But those memories are fun, where you're shouting at your friends, where you're shouting at each other, or you're shouting at your opponents, or you're happy that you're winning. Those are really good days and good memories. Oh, we love a crash out moment. We all got to crash out every now and then, and I don't crash out on stream because I think it's unbecoming of a man my age. But people crash out, and
I just look off the screen.
I try
it's
so
fun.
hard not to, but it has to happen sometimes.
We got to see some crash out
Streams gotta end
montages.
early.
We got to see some crash out montages. We actually have to see some crash out montages. I need to see some of our best crash outs. Nah, you know what? When you rage quit on it, I can't. I mean, when I play Tekken on stream, I don't really get into that situation unless I face like a really annoying Eddie. Oh god, if I face an annoying Eddie, I'll just say from the beginning of the game, I'll just be like, I'm not replaying this. I'm not rematching this guy. I'm just not doing it. I refuse to do it. And the stream can see I'm salty. I can see I'm salty, and we just got to keep it going. And then the chat starts kind of cooking you a little bit, but also maybe agrees and supports you. Who knows? But again, that's the fun. Those are the memories, right?
Right.
All part of the experience.
Right.
Right.
Absolutely. Well, guys, look, we've been here for quite some time now. This is the first episode of the AFK Lobby. I do appreciate your time here. I really have enjoyed doing this. I hope everyone who's listening to this and has listened to this has enjoyed it too. And give us a little bit of feedback on what you heard today. He does love you, truly. He's not lying. He does love you. But give us some feedback on what we've said. Did you say aliens are welcome?
All opinions welcome.
My God, I thought you said all aliens are welcome. I was just like, alright.
All opinions.
I mean, if the aliens come through and they're like the ones in Invincible, then, you know,
Jesus.
we may have some problems. Yeah, well, aliens could be useful. But if you guys have any opinions on the things that we spoke about, anything that you want to add to, or anything you want us to discuss in the next episode, I'd love for you to get that down in the comment section below. Do not forget to see all these wonderful people in this video, on this podcast, on their respective stream channels. Please, guys, one by one, I'll introduce you or say your name and please tell them where you can be found. That's true. Where can we find you?
On YouTube, almost daily uploads, and from time to time on Twitch when I have the time to stream.
Fantastic. That is going to be in the description below. It popped up at the beginning of the video. It's going to pop up again now. Calm Savage, where can we find you? What do? You
find me at Calm Savage on Twitch. I sometimes stream whenever I feel like I'm bouncing off the walls. At Calm Savage on Twitter or X, even Instagram, you know, everything down below. Energy.
That's what I like to hear. And Violai, please do not lie. Tell us where we can find you.
I never lie. I am Violai, VIIOLAI on Twitch, X, and what's the last one? TikTok. I will be putting some clips occasionally, some fun laughs, I do stream very sporadically, but please give me a follow. I promise we can all chill and have fun together.
Violai, not Violai. Violent, whatever. We go by your actual name. It's Violai.
You can say Vi.
It's Violai. We got to go with Violai. And thank you all for telling us where we can find you guys. You can find me at Big Mike Plays or Big Mike _plays 23 on Twitch, Big Mike Plays on X, Big Mike Plays on YouTube, and Big Mike Plays on Instagram. Yeah, it's not a surprise. The name's Big Mike Plays. You're going to find me everywhere. Until next time, guys, thank you very much for listening. We love you engaging with this first episode. Please drop a like below, share it to your friends, share it to your family, share it to your dog, share it to your neighborhood. I was going to say something mad there. I'm not going to say it. Until next time, peace. The cats too. Bye. Until next time, peace, blessings. Thank you very much. And we'll see you next time you're in the AFK lobby. Yeah!